All right, back here with Nathan Adrian, three-time Olympian, Olympic champion as well. Nathan will be entered in the 100 freestyle tomorrow and then the 50 freestyle on the final day of competition here this week. Nathan, just start us off, as somebody who has, been through a couple of quads, just kind of walk us through this meet and, just kind of explain the importance of it, not only for this year, but for, obviously the next year as well as we head into Tokyo.
I think I'm really excited. Walking onto the pool deck, I think they've done a great job of setting up a great outdoor space and an outdoor meet. I know in 2010 it was done big because we had Pan Packs. 2014 wasn't quite as big, and now it feels big again. So I think that's really cool and that's really exciting. Again, this is the middle of the quad. We all know that. It's not something that we go into being like, it's just 2018. We go in there, we compete, we try to win no matter what. But as we focus on the next couple years, the intensity throughout the year and the kind of focus on everything gets more and more intense as you ramp up towards the Olympics, certainly.
Go ahead and take questions. Raise your hand for the mic, please. Coleman.
So Ryan was in here last, and he talked a little bit about how, he accomplished all his goals in 2016, and then 2017, he didn't really find his motivation until, I guess, January of 2018. With you going through, 3 quads now, I think, at like kind of the top level, what is your experience with kind of that post-Olympic down, or maybe you don't get it the year after, you get it this year, but how have you kind of learned through each of those 4-year cycles how to deal with that?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think I actually kind of alluded to it a little bit in my response to John's question. I think one of the most important lessons I learned in my freshman year of college was compartmentalization, being able to kind of focus on what's going on at that moment. And I think, for me, certainly I've been focused on swimming and been able to really attack, practice and whether it be in weights or whether it be in the pool, making sure we're going fast, right? Making sure we're training hard. During the Olympic year, during maybe the year before that as well, you kind of bring that intensity and that in focus to literally everything. You're like, I need to attack my recovery, right? I need to make this green smoothie, and I need to make sure that all the different greens add up to having a complete protein. I need to be doing my Normatec consistently. Maybe it's ice baths. Maybe it's this or that. I mean, I swear it feels like I'm bringing a training room everywhere I go now. Taking stock on this meet compared to 12 years ago, in 2006, I remember being here, like, it's totally different in terms of, like, A, the level that you have to swim at to make the team, and B, the level you have to recover at to be ready to compete the next day.
Martin.
Hi, Nathan. How you doing?
Hey.
The news came out yesterday about Ryan Lochte, and he said immediately that he plans to come back after the ban and compete in Tokyo. You're obviously still in your 20s, but it would seem to be a particularly difficult thing for someone to do, to take 14 months off at the age of 33 and then come back to that kind of level again. Do you think that's conceivable, that we may see him again in Tokyo?
Yeah, absolutely. What did Tony do?
Sure.
Anthony Irvin, I mean, right? He took 12 years off.
Sure.
And it certainly wasn't the same age. But you can't put anything out of the realm of possibilities with that guy. He's a very, very talented athlete. You just look at what Ryan did in 2011, and you're like, oh man, like this guy's dangerous. I was looking forward to seeing what he could do. This upcoming week, unfortunately, we're not going to see that, but I'm certain that he's going to be a contender come trials 2020.
What was your reaction to what happened yesterday, and do you hope to see him come back?
Sorry, can you repeat that last part of that?
Yeah, do you hope to see him? Do you look forward to seeing him come back?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be totally honest, I think we're watching the American team be leaders in accountability right now. I don't think that this punishment would have necessarily been as strict if he was part of certain other federations, to be totally honest. And we have always come down harsh on that as, Team USA and USADA saying, hey, like, where's the accountability here? And I think you're seeing us kind of stay true to our word. Hey, if that happened in the U.S., we would bring on harsh repercussions.
Go ahead, Nathan, and then Rebecca.
Nathan, what sort of impact do you expect John Urbanchek to have as he is unretired for like 15th time?
I know. He's so funny. One more, buddy. I'm going to go one more. I'm like, okay, see you in 2024.
Yeah. What sort of impact, though, will he have on this next couple of years for y'all?
This almost feels like it's formalizing his position, because I've always felt like John has been an amazing resource that I could always reach out to if I need to. He's a text away or a WhatsApp away. I think he prefers WhatsApp. So, the fact that I know that as someone who's never swam for him, necessarily at one of his training centers, I think that speaks to who he is as a coach and how open he is to helping anybody who needs it. And I'm just really glad to see him back, formally with, Team USA.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Nathan, I just wanted to ask, the anti-doping regulations now are so complicated. I wondered if you have a particular system with you and your team or whatever to make sure that something doesn't happen to you like what happened to Ryan.
Yeah, you ask. You have to ask a lot. It is really, really complicated. I mean, as we all now know. And you just got, I don't even remember what the email is. I have to go search USADA in my Gmail, but just ask. And whether it be from Stacy or Jennifer from the USA Swimming side, or whether it just be a direct line to USADA, there's a lot of ambiguities there, and I'm not a lawyer, nor have I read all of them, so just ask.
Hey, what do you expect from Caleb Dressel this week?
I expect, nothing but the best. Certainly, I think we're all excited. Caleb has continued to surprise with his amazing performances. It would be short-sighted to not look, across the board and expect greatness from a lot of different athletes. We just don't know who it is yet. There's so many people that have just been ready to go and not fired off for whatever reason, and maybe it's going to be here, maybe it's going to be tomorrow, maybe it's going to be this week. I think that's why I like watching this meet. Why I like and what makes Team USA great. Everyone always, they're always so surprised that we, come out and we have extraordinary Olympics or big world championships. And it's like, man, we got to be fighting so hard just to make our team. And through that, some extraordinary athletes are made and extraordinary performances are done.
You were there through almost the entire era of Phelps and then Ryan Lochte, and now you seem to have the two best swimmers in the world right now with Caleb and Katie. What's that like to just witness something like that every year, where you feel like you're watching something historic really every time out?
I think it's great. It's what makes Team USA great, right? And I bet that those two are hungry to accelerate their success and be even greater. And that's, again, it just circles back to what makes Team USA such a great country and why we have the best swim team in the world. I bet you talk to Caleb and he's just focusing on making the team right now, right? Again, we don't even feel safe with making the team, having some of the best swimmers in the world. So let's go. Let's do this.
Go ahead, Nick.
Nathan, Nick here from NBC. Is 2020, would that be your last Olympics, or are you going to pull a Tony Irvin on us?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I would say definitively right now, 2024 got the bid in LA, 100% I would be all gung-ho, I'd go for it. 2028, probably not. But that being said, Paris 2024 would be an amazing experience. I 100% will not rule it out right now, but not necessarily as certain as it would be if 2024 were in LA.
And a follow-up. I'm not saying you're old, but do you
I'm
see?
a veteran.
Yeah, you're a veteran leader. Do you see any comparisons between kind of the time we're in now with Caleb chasing you versus what 6-10 years ago you chasing Jason Lezak?
Well, now I do. Yeah, that's the perpetual cycle. That's how it's going to be. There's going to be a point where someone's chasing Caleb too. Like, no doubt. That's as predictable as tides, really. You know, and I still, it's a movie that I still want to watch, you know, because the way that it unfolds is going to be unique in every situation. But yeah. Sorry, that's my answer.
Hey, Nathan, Wayne Drays from ESPN. I'm curious, with all the ambiguities in the doping code, if you were aware of this IV rule and the therapeutic use exemption to do it and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think I go to the Olympic Training Center anywhere, on average, probably 2.5 times a year. And one of those times you got to go through the USADA presentation. We all hate it, but for the last 10 years I've been doing it, and it hasn't changed a lot. And that's one of the things that they say.
And with that, I'm curious, you mentioned how sort of this is the U.S. sort of coming to the forefront and being accountable, if you will. How do you think the news of Ryan and the news last week with Madison, how do you think, or what effect, I guess is a better way to put it, do you think that might help on the way people, what effect does it have on the way people outside the country might look at USA Swimming now, if at all?
You know, I don't, those are really, really difficult questions because it's going to kind of depend on how the media spins it, to be totally honest. Like, that's kind of the truth in today's day and age. And again, like I personally do feel like these are harsh sentences. These are what we've been told since we were junior team athletes, that if you mess up and it's accidental, you could still get banned for years. You know, and here we are. So those are the messages that have been, you know, pounded in our head, and they were true. So again, I really do feel like that this is a message that USADA, not USA Swimming, we're not necessarily involved in that process, but that we're sending the world that, hey, we take clean sports seriously. I would have preferred that this doesn't happen. Like, certainly not. I think that, you know, there's going to be two sides of every coin, though, and you know, I think you talk to Madison and Lochte and maybe they get their takes on it, but they probably understand. We all understand how harsh USADA is now on our American athletes. It would be nice if the rest of the world kind of did the same thing, right? Felt that they were not there to protect their athletes, that they were there to govern their sport.
Anyone else? All right. Thank you, Nathan.
Cool.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.